I am going today I'm going to skip and I go to chapter 6. We are still continuing with databases, but we shall do them next Sunday physical. Because what I want to do with the databases is something that needs us to be physical when we are working together, doing it together. So today I'm skipping a bit that. I want to cover chapter 6, which is Introduction to Microcomputer Networking. So as we study computers, microcomputers, you will discover that today there is no way you can survive without networking. And even we have been using it, but maybe some things we have not been aware, or some of us think those are not our things. Those are things who are for the network professionals. After all, for me, I'm not a network technician. I don't need these things, but we all need them. Myself, I'm a network engineer by profession. That's what I specialized in networking. But even other people, especially us who are doing MBA, as I normally say, if you're not a manager, you want to be a manager. That's why you're doing MBA. If you're not a manager, you want to be a manager. So if it means you have to be a manager, it means you have to have a lot of knowledge on these things. You may not have the technical knowledge, but you can have the basic knowledge. So in that picture which you are seeing there, we normally see these cables. We normally see these cables in our workplaces. Sometimes we don't know what they mean, but we are basically going to look briefly on what those things mean. So if I'm not clear, or if you have any question, you can either put in the chat room or you can unmute and you ask. If there is anything you want to ask, feel free to ask at any moment, or you can send in the chat room. So
Excuse
microcomputer.
me, sir.
Yes, please.
My first inquiry is about I'm attending for the first time. I don't know whether you had we had classes for online, and the second one, maybe I have a long. This is not the proper the booklet. After topic 5, Microsoft Access, I can't see 6.1.
Okay.
So I will just clarify for me there whether it's
Okay. Are you
this.
distance student?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a problem. For the distance students, actually, you are hearing my voice for the very first time.
Yes,
But
sir.
for the weekend students, we have been moving. That's why you see we are already on chapter 6. And now
Oh.
the booklet which you are having has that booklet. Actually, I use it for undergraduate students. But why I told you to
Yeah.
have it is because it has the 3 chapters which I don't cover for masters in class, which I assume you
Oh,
people did on undergraduate. That is Microsoft Word, Microsoft
yes.
Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Access.
And
But Access, I said I'm going to cover it because it is going to help us to do practical databases. We are going to use Access. And that's what we are supposed to have been doing today. But because I'm not physical, that's why I pushed it to next Sunday, because it requires a
okay.
physical session. So now the chapter 6, which I'm on, it is not in that book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because now the undergraduates, they don't go to where we are. For them, they stop there. That's why
Okay,
you are
sir.
not
Let me
seeing.
follow.
Mm.
Let me follow where you are.
Okay, but still this chapter, you can still catch up from here, and then the rest
Yes.
we shall get on board. So it's not only you, but all distance students. But for the weekend class, they are good to go.
Oh,
Okay, so microcomputer networking refers to the interconnection of computers and devices to share resources. Now, this is very, very important word here. Why we do microcomputers, why we connect computers together, the main reason is all about sharing resources. And when we talk of resources, we don't mean resources like money, no. But resources like internet, the printer, most of you at your workplaces, you have seen, you have one printer, but over 20 people are using it to print. You have one internet access from one service provider, but over 100 people are using the same. Like, for example, at a university, we have one internet connection, but every student, every staff is using that one. So this can happen due to interconnection of computers and devices. So the major reason behind a network, the major reason is all about sharing resources. You can also call it exchange of data and communication, but all this is sharing resources. So in modern organizations, networking enables collaboration. So you can see the benefits of networking. One, we have their collaboration, automation. Now, some of the work which we would have done manually, like for example, you need to send a document to so and so in so and so's office. You have to leave your desk. Today, you just scan that document and then you take it. You can see, for example, those of you working in the banks. Banks have branches. Say, for example, Central Bank in Masaka, they need to communicate with the head office. You don't need to take a car to drive to Kampala. No. You just scan the document, then you send it to them. So that is automation. And efficient information flow across departments and geographical locations. So a microcomputer network consists of, first of all, we have computers, and when we say computers, we refer to desktops and laptops. Okay? So these are the key players in a microcomputer network. The first one is the computers themselves. That's the desktops and laptops. Then we have communication devices. We shall see those ones like the routers, the switches. Then we have transmission media like the cables. We shall see those ones. Then we have networking software, which we don't have to. Now, where I am, there are some kids which are making noise. I have to tell them now and again to go out. All right, let's continue. These young ones also have to show that they are present. So let's look at the importance of networking for microcomputers in business. As you can look at those diagrams there. So these ones reflect what we see at our workplaces. You are seated in your office, but you are communicating with someone else in another office. Today, we also have what we call mobile computing. Phones can communicate now. TVs can communicate. Our gates, some of you have gates at home. Some of you have cameras at home, which can communicate over the internet. You are at your workplace, you can see what is happening at home. So for MBA students, understanding networking is essential because modern businesses operations depend heavily on digital communication systems. Whether you like it or not, today, most of the businesses are operating using digital communications. And these ones are powered by what we call networking. So interplay of microcomputers in networking has enabled the digital communication in organizations. And the benefits we get.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Someone wants to enter, but she can't enter. How can we help her?
But the room is open if anyone to enter.
Okay, let me tell her.
Like the way you entered, you just clicked and you entered, no one allowed you in, isn't it?
Yes.
Maybe he has a problem on the other side.
Okay, let me tell her.
Maybe her network has issues, but otherwise it is open. Anyone can click on the link and enter.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so we look at the benefits. If I'm too fast, you tell me to reduce the speed. As I told you, me, my profession is networking. So at times I may think I'm talking to fellow people on my level, and I may end up leaving everybody behind. If I'm too fast, you tell me to reduce the speed. Is the speed okay? Okay, silence means yes.
It is okay.
Okay.
It is okay.
So we have resource sharing. As I told you, the major element why we do networking is all about sharing resources. Okay. So that is the first benefit which we see in networking, sharing resources. And these resources which we share are things like the printers. So resources which are shared are, we have printers, we have storage, okay? Then we have applications. We have applications. Some of you may be in your workplaces and you have seen those hard disk storage devices, if you have them, where you can store your data in organizations over the network, okay? Some applications like the internet, I have already said it can be shared. Some of you, like in the banking system, you have the banking software. It is stored on the server, but any branch anywhere can access it, okay? So those are resources we can share over the networking. But it also reduces duplication of equipment costs. Now, for example, instead of buying every staff a printer, okay? Instead of buying every staff a modem to have access to internet, you just buy one modem and all the organization staff share from that. You just buy one printer and everybody shares from that printer. You just buy one storage device and everybody is able to store on that device. So it reduces duplication of equipment costs. So instead of buying 30 printers for 30 staff, you only need one printer and every staff is using. It does also improve the communication. Improve the communication through microcomputer networking. We can do emailing. Now, I don't know if all of us here can use emails very well, but I assume all of us use emails and we can use them very well. But if you don't know how to use emails, better start using them, because even today, many organizations now no longer accept these hard copy application forms. They just fill and send over by email. Now, if you don't know how to use email very well, then messaging. We have these things now of WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Video conferencing, like the one which I'm on now today, we are having a lecture of video conferencing. Okay, so all of these are making what we call improved communication. Yes, you can send someone a WhatsApp message and he finds it and gets back to you. Okay, so faster decision-making process. When we have networking, when our systems are networked, it's very easy to make decisions. We shall see in next chapter, we have a chapter on decision support systems. This one will come back into play. So faster decision making, whereby you are sitting in different areas, you work on the document and you make a decision and you say, like the example I told you in the bank, the branch in Masaka Centenary Bank, they want to give out a loan of 500 million, but they need approval from head office. So instead of getting a car to drive all the fuel out to Kampala, then you wait, maybe even a person can get an accident on the way and so on. So instead of doing all that, you just scan and send. And when you send, The other people approve, also they scan, they send back the approval, and the decision is made there and then, and the loan is given. So faster decision-making process. Then the centralized data management. So secure storage and backup of company data. By the way, so many people in organizations today, you find them thinking that putting your work on the flash, then you have backed it up. That is dangerous. The flash can easily get lost. Also, it can get spoiled. So the best thing is get a storage device. There's what we call a network storage device. Some of the things which I talk, which are not in the notes here, you can write them down, and so that you can implement them later in your workplaces. So we have what we call a network storage device. This is a hard disk, which is usually connected on the network, and people can store their data there. They can back up the data there, especially organizational data. Okay. If time allows, I'll connect to mine at our workplace, and I'll show you how it can work, because here I can connect to it at any time. So we have easier data retrieval and analysis. Okay. So if time allows, when we finish here, I'll connect to my workplace, our storage device there, and I'll show you how it operates. It's in my office, but anyone can access it anywhere. Even if you're out of the country, you can access the data. Even if your laptop is stolen, you just cry for the money you bought the laptop, but your data is safe, it can be got. Okay. So that is what we call the centralized data management. It is secure. Then we have what we call enhanced collaboration. Enhanced collaboration. So teams can work together regardless of location. Like right now, we are in the lecture. You have heard we have even distance students. I don't know where they are, but distance students mean they are not at campus. Okay? But we are together in the class. So, and this is, we are able to do this because of micro networks, microcomputer networks. So teams can work together regardless of location. You have had Zoom meetings. Okay? Zoom meetings. These things have been there before, but only COVID wakened up our people's minds. Not until COVID came, people were not aware that these things are possible. But these things were there before. But we human beings, we take long to adapt to something. Something has to first pitch us, to first force us to adapt. But we are always in the comfortable zone. We don't want to learn new technologies, but these things have been there before. If it was not COVID to pinch us, to push us to stay at home and work from home, many of us were not aware that these things exist, but they have been there before. So it supports remote and hybrid work models, and also cost efficiency. It reduces operational costs, like I told you about the printer. I told you about the secretary back in Masaka. Instead of taking a car, fuel, and so on, and time and so on, at least they just scan and send. So it reduces operational costs, minimizes hardware and maintenance expenses. Okay. Instead of maintaining 10 printers, you can now maintain one printer. So let's look at the basic components of a network. I don't know, someone who wanted to connect. I don't know if she joined. Did your friend join? Or you did not hear from her again?
She failed to join.
But why? Maybe her network has a problem.
That's what I've told her, to check her network.
Because I think everybody was joined. You just clicked and there you are.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll share with you the notes, then you can go through with her in case she missed. Still, I'm recording this. I will upload it on my YouTube channel for those who want to use it later. I'm recording it.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, sir.
basic components of a computer network. So a typical microcomputer network has the following. What we call a network, it has the following. One, it has nodes. Now, the term nodes replaces computers. Originally, we used to say, when we are defining a computer network, we used to say a computer network is two or more computers connected together to share resources. Okay? But as technology develops, it's in the network is not longer just only computers. Today we have phones. We have CCTV cameras are connecting. We have printers are connecting. Okay? Your gates are connecting. Your fridges at home are connecting. Your TVs are connecting. So if you continuously say two or more computers, referring only to computers, then you are leaving out those things, the phones, the fridges, the TVs, and so on. So instead of saying computers, now we use the term nodes. And the term node means any device that is connected on a network. It could be a computer, it could be a laptop, it could be a TV, it could be a fridge, it could be your CCTV camera. So the term node is a broad term to mean anything that is connected on a network. So devices connected to a network, those are referred as nodes. And examples are computers, printers, servers, phones, cameras, and so on. Anything that connects to a network is referred to as a node. Then we have also what we call the transmission media. Now, transmission media, this is the path your data over the network is going to take. And usually these are cables, data cables, which we refer to as Ethernet. Data cables, which we refer to as Ethernet. There are various types of data cables, but that is not for you. That is for us, the technical people. But for you, at least what you have to know, that communication takes place through the cables. And if it's not the cables, it uses wireless, which is Wi-Fi, which some people call Wi-Fi. I saw yesterday a video on social media of a husband who wanted to divorce his wife because when the husband was away, when he came back, the neighbor told him, "Oh, welcome back. Actually, I have been using your wife for free, so thank you so much." So the man decided to divorce the woman because the woman has cheated on him. Now, when they reached in court, that's when they discovered that actually the man was meaning Wi-Fi, not wife. Okay? So Wi-Fi, standing for wireless fidelity. It is an abbreviation, Wi-Fi, standing for wireless fidelity. So you can either use cable or you can use wireless. But where you can use a cable, better use a cable. That's why you said most of the banks, when you go there, especially those who are working in the bank, you will discover that is very little wireless in the banks. They mainly use cables because the network over the cable is 100% sure it will go through. But the wireless has a lot of distractions, especially when the weather is not okay and so on. The signals, sometimes they get lost, but the cable. So that's why you said many people are still using the cables instead of wireless. But the two transition medias which we have, either is cable or wireless. Of course, wireless may include also Bluetooth. Okay? It may include Bluetooth. It may include infrared, like infrared, which you use for TV signals. Infrared is used by TV signals. Bluetooth is used for short distances, which are not even more than 10 meters. Sometimes even 10 meters is too long for Bluetooth. Sometimes 2-3 meters. So if the distance is short, so that is the transition media which we use. Then we have also what we call network interface cards. Now, the network interface card is found on a computer. Is that port on the computer where we connect? You remember when we were introducing ourselves, we talked of the ports. We have the female and male ports. So we have also a port there for the network card that's where the network cable rests. When the cable comes from the router from the switch, that's where it rests on your computer. Then we have also what we call protocols. Now, a protocol is like a language which we speak. Some of us speak Luganda, others speak Lunyankole, others speak Luchiga, others speak Lugbar, and so on. Everyone has a mother tongue. But now when we come to a class like this one at a university, we need to speak one language which all of us understand. So when computers are standalone computer, each computer can do what it wants. But when these computers come together over the internet, they have to speak the same language which they can all understand. And this language is what we call a protocol. Now, what we call a protocol is simply rules that govern communication over the internet. Like, for example, when you come to campus, you may know Lugbar, you may know Luganda, you may know Lunyankole, you may know what, but the rule says, as long as you're in the lecture here, you have to use English. And that is the rule. Yes, you know other languages, but if you have to pass on any communication, you have to use English. So here on the computer also, we have rules which govern communication. And these rules is what we call protocol. And one of the rules that is used over the internet, the basic one is called TCP/IP, standing for Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. Now, we may not go much into this, but this one now gives the address where to find you. Like right now where I am, none of you can reach there unless I've given you my address. If you want to reach, I will tell you, move like this and this and this, then you get to me. If I don't give you my address, you can't reach me. So even the computers to participate on the internet, to participate in a network, they have what we call an address. And that address uses numbers which are referred to as TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. And this is the language which computers understand. Now, for example, many of you, when you go to the internet, you are going to put www.google.com. Now, that word google.com is understood by us human beings, but the computer does not understand google.com. For it is going to understand numbers. But if we were to tell you, you remember most of us in mathematics classes, the moment it numbers, you start feeling headache. So that's why the Internet Society said, let the computers use numbers, but let these numbers be transformed into a language which humans understand. And that's why we have what we call the DNS, Domain Naming Service. It translates from numbers to a language which human beings understand. So for you, just put google.com, but the computer is going to translate that google.com into numbers so that it can reach the Google server and then gives you what you want. Okay. Then, any questions so far before I go to types of topologies? Is the speed okay?
Yes, sir, it is okay.
All of people are already collapsing.
I'm fine.
Okay, let us continue. Because I want to complete this chapter today, that's why the speed is the way you see it. Now we have what we call types of network topologies. Now, when we say topology, we just look at the way computers are arranged in a network. A topology is just an organization of computers in a network, how they are organized. Sometimes at our workplaces, for us, the users, we may not know this, but the technicians know it. But for the users, for you, as long as you have internet, that is okay. As long as internet is off, then you'll complain. How it is organized, you may not know. But briefly, I'm going to take you through how computers are organized on a network. So network topology refers to the physical or logical arrangement of devices. When we say logical, it means you may not necessarily see it, but it exists. That's why we say logical. But physical means you can see it with your eyes. So the first one, which is the most common, which actually most of all organizations use today, is the star topology. Star topology. So as you see in that diagram there, star topology means we have a central device here and all computers connect to it. Usually you have what we call a server room. A server room. And all computers connect to the server using either a router or a switch. Okay? We shall see when we look at networking devices. So a star topology, all computers connect to it. Of course, each arrangement has its advantages and its disadvantages. Each topology has advantages and disadvantages. But the star topology is the commonly used one in all organizations today because of its advantages. So all devices connect to a central hub or a switch. That is one advantage it has. All devices connect to one, and most common in modern organization. Now, when all devices connect to this central hub or switch, it means if the cable of one computer here is broken, other computers will still get the network. Okay, so that is a big advantage to this topology. The biggest advantage it has that if one computer is dead, other computers. Now, if one office has lost internet, does it mean that other offices also are going to lose internet? No. Other offices will still get internet. Okay? And that's why many organizations have adopted to this. Because if one office goes off, other offices will still get. But the biggest disadvantage it has, as you see, we are saying all devices are connected to a central hub. Okay? All, you mark this word, all the devices here, all are connected to a central hub. Now, the question is, if this central hub is spoiled, that means nobody can get internet.
Internet.
Yes, so it seems someone is saying something.
No, I was just confirming that once that server is off, these other computers cannot receive the internet.
And that's a big disadvantage it has. Okay? But as we are going to see, that still, even if that is a big disadvantage it has, as we are going to see others, you see that even others have worse disadvantages. That's why we refer to this one. And now, the good thing for the technician also, if we say, for example, at reception, they call, we don't have internet. Then accounts also, you call, you don't have internet. Then the manager also calls that it is easy for you to tell that, it seems that device has a what? A problem. Then it's easy to sort it out because everybody now has no internet. It means the problem is here. Okay. Sometimes you may even just need to remove, if it is a router or a switch, maybe it has broken, just remove, put a new one, and people are back online. Okay. Sometimes these cleaners, he may come and he has hit the power cable and he has lost power. Then you just come, you power on, and everybody gets back internet. So even if it has that big disadvantage, you see that it's easy to solve the problem compared to other arrangements we are going to see. We have the bus topology. I don't mean the NRM bus, but when we say bus topology, it means all computers now are connected on one cable. They all pick internet from one cable. And this is one of the oldest types of arrangements, the bus topology. Now, as you see this one, if now we have this computer here, but if this cable is broken from here, it means the rest of these computers cannot get internet. when the cable is broken from here. That is a disadvantage it has. Because all of them are on this one cable. So if this one cable gets a disadvantage somewhere, it means the rest of the people cannot get internet. So devices connected along a single cable, and it is rare in modern systems. This is old-fashioned. It doesn't work anymore. Just a minute, someone needs to talk to me here. Sorry, someone had distracted me. I was saying, sorry, bus topology, all devices connect along a single cable, and it is rare in modern systems. If a technician comes to your organization and does this, better chase him away because it has. Then we have what we call the ring topology. Now, ring topology looks like this. It is actually the first topology was the bus topology. Then, because of its disadvantages, it came to a ring topology. And the ring topology also devices connect in a circular format, but also it has a disadvantage that if one cable is broken, it means again the network. And the problem here is to find which cable is broken. That is the serious issue. To find which cable is broken, that is a serious issue. It's not easy. Like there where we know it is this gadget, you know, in the star topology, we can't easily tell that it is the router which has a problem and you sort it out. But here, you can see now these are just 4 or 5 computers, but you can imagine if there are 30 computers or 30 offices. When will you rectify that this is the cable which got broken? So that's why these are no longer in use today. Then we have also what we call the mesh topology. This one also is no longer in use. Mesh topology, it means every computer in a network has a cable which goes to another computer, and it is all in a mesh as you see. So every computer has a cable going to another computer. So for our interest is the star topology, which we saw. The star topology is the best one which we use in organizations. Any other topology today, we no longer use it. That is old-fashioned. Okay, then let's look at managerial perspective. As we said, we are doing MBA and we are studying these things not to be technicians, but at least as a manager, you should have some good information about these things. Otherwise, if you don't have the information, that is where we, who are experts, we capitalize on to cheat you when you don't know. But if at least someone knows that you have some knowledge, then the person may not cheat you so much. Yesterday, I was driving and when I was parking, I don't know even what was in my mind. Actually, the kids were distracted me. There's a double cabin I had not seen, which I had already parked. So I scratched it a bit. With my car. And then the guy took the photos to send to his mechanic and so on. Can you imagine the guy took 400 from me for something which is going to be repaired like for maybe 70,000. But because his mechanic said That one is between 400 and 500. I told him we go to our garage. He said, no, for me, only my mechanic understands my car. I don't take it anywhere else. You see? Yes, I gave him the 400, but I just told him it's okay, you can take it, but these things are for earth, we are leaving them here. So sometimes people use our ignorance to take a lot of money from us, okay? But anyway, still, even money which is not got in good terms, it just goes like that. So for we people are managers, so managers should understand networking fundamentals because IT infrastructure affects business performance. It affects business performance. Some of these technical guys you have at your workplaces, because they need money, is going to go and switch off that router which I told you, which operates all the internet connections. He's just you just going to switch off the switch just to create work. And say, you see things now, you see, we need this money, we need to do this, we need to do this. Yet, I normally tell organizations when I visit them, because I normally visit organizations to look at, I normally ask them a question: how much do you pay your IT people here? How much do you pay them? And you find that the IT people are the people who are paid less because people think they don't matter. So they pay them less. So these guys are going to compensate their salary from somewhere else. Okay? Because they know your business cannot operate without that network. So the best thing they are going to do is going to go and switch off the switch. And then it's going to create a job. And then it's going to tell you, because you need to work, even if it tells you we need 5 million to fix this, you will look for the 5 million. But when it tells you add 300 on my salary, you see there's no money, there's no way you can add. So yes, it's okay, I'll work, it is okay. Then he knows where to touch you and you compensate his salary when you don't know. So IT infrastructure affects business performance. If there's a problem in a network infrastructure, your business is going to collapse. The performance will not be good. And most of you have experienced this at your workplaces. Trying internet. Most of the time, I'm not saying it is true, but most of the time, of course, I am a network engineer, but I move in organizations. People have called me and I've gone there. And when you reach there, you ask the IT personnel, you ask, but you are here, why is it says my friend? These people pay me less, I have to create a job for them. And it tells you, make sure you charge them this money, they have it, they will give it to you. These people tell us. They say they have the money, they will give it to you. I did it intentionally because I wanted the money. My child is sick, and they think for me, I don't need the money, it's them who need the money. So IT infrastructure affects business performance. Poor networking leads to downtime and losses. Okay, that's why you are going to do all your best to make sure the internet is up and running. You can imagine how much money URA can lose in 1 hour when the network is not on. Just think of URA. Now, all transactions of URA are online. You can imagine if URA server is off for 1 hour, you can imagine how much loss. The bank, or you just look at MTN. If the MTN server is just off for 1 hour, how much money they can lose, okay? Then investment decision requires basic technical literacy. Investment decision, because you are not going to invest in this networking, in the internet and so on when you don't have this basic knowledge. They are going to cheat you, okay? They are going to cheat you. But when they come and say, manager, we need such and such. Now, when it talks of a router and so on, when they bring those jargon terms, at least you have also some idea. When you have it, then you know, this guy now, we can't just cheat him like that. But when they see you are green, then they see there's a fertile soil there. Okay, let's look at this diagram here. Let me reduce it a bit so that it can be seen clearly. Are people still with me or I'm alone?
We are with you,
We
sir.
are on. We are on.
Okay, just look at that diagram there. So this is a typical network, a physical network. Someone is putting in the chat room. Let me see what is there. Is it a question? Oh, hey, say we are here. Okay. Now, when you look at this diagram there, we have the internet. Internet comes down to the router, and from the router comes down to the switch, and from the switch, it separates to all organizational computers. We have the printer there, which is connected. We have laptops there. We have the server. Okay. We have wireless access. Okay. Now, what this guy does, he just comes and disconnects this cable from the router to the switch. He just disconnects that cable, and everybody in the organization starts crying. And when it starts crying, the guy is going to tell you, do you know what? Our switch got a problem. We need to buy a switch. And you say, how much is the switch? We need 2 million. And you give him the 2 million, and he's going to put back the cable to show. Actually, sometimes they sell to you your own gadgets. Okay. So let's look at the types of networkings which we can have. One is what we call a local area network, referred to as a LAN. Let's look at them and where they operate. Types of networks. We have a local area network. Now I'm reducing the speed because what we are going to is now the real networking. We have what we call the local area network. So it's a network that connects computers within a limited geographical area, like the diagram you have seen above there. That is a local area network. And this local area network operates within office buildings, within a school, like at Nkumba University there, within a hospital. Why we call it a local area network is because it is on the premises. And that's why we call it a local area network. It's on the premises. It doesn't go outside. If it is a network of the school, it operates within the school. If it is the office, it operates within the office. Now, the other addresses which I told you about, which computers use, they are of two types. We have what we call the public addresses, and we have what we call the private addresses. Now, the private addresses, they operate under a local area network. For example, if you go to Europe, every home has an address. You just say an address and they take you straight to the home. But the moment you go outside of Europe, for example, you come to Africa, that address doesn't make sense anymore. It works within Europe. Okay? Outside Europe, it doesn't work. So also the private IP addresses, they work within a local area network. Outside the local area network, it will not work. Outside, it uses a public IP address, a public address. Okay? So we have a local area network works within a geographical area and is characterized by high speed, low cost, privacy, because it is privately owned, and it works within a limited geographical area. Those characteristics. It's high speed, low cost. Now, low cost, it doesn't require internet to work. You don't need data to use it. Like to print over a local area network, you don't need data. You don't need to. One time I went to one organization and they had failed to print. And someone there told me, it's because we don't have internet. When internet is on, we print. And I said, my friend, who told you that you have to print because you have internet? You need internet. I asked him, are you going to print from a printer in America? Because when I'm seated in Uganda here, I can print on the printer in America, but I can only do it through the internet. Okay? But now if I are within a local area network, I don't need internet to print. No. That's why you see those people on NASA Road. They have those printers which they have connected to 3 printers and they are printing and they are not using any internet. Okay. So low cost, it allows a low cost. It is private owned. That means it's not easy for the hackers to come into your system because it is private owned. It's not going to the public. It is just within that geographical area. But it also has disadvantages. It has disadvantages. Sorry, those are advantages. First, then easy resource sharing, improved communication, enhanced. Disadvantages, it requires maintenance. That is why you need a technical person around. But if you don't have a technical person around, then you need someone on a standby. In case it has issues, you call that person and it comes. By the way, people, if you have problems there at your workplaces, you can call me. Also, I need money. You call me, we come, we sort it out. My pocket becomes happy. Also, I leave you when you are happy because basically that is me, networking. So it requires maintenance and that comes with a cost because not everybody can maintain it. Set up costs, of course, you have to use some money to set it up. It requires some money. Then risk of internal security threats. Now, when we say internal security threats, those are the people I told you, your workers there, who are going to come and disconnect the cable to make you cry. Okay? Internal security threats. Then we have what we call the wide area network. That is the one. Wide area network, the one. So this one now connects cities, countries, and continents. And the wide area network is also referred to as the internet. Wide area network, you can also refer to as the internet. It connects countries, cities, continents, and the term internet is an abbreviation, is a short form, although many of us think it is a full word. No, internet is an abbreviation, meaning international networks. Because the term international networks was too big, so they got from international, they got out the word inter, and from networks, they got out the word net. So they combined inter and net, and they formed what we call internet. That's where the word internet comes from. Otherwise, internet is a wide area network which connects so many networks, and these are a number of LANs, various LANs across countries, across cities, across continents. They come together and they form one network, which is referred to as internet. And now, unlike the local area network where we use the private IP addresses, when it comes to wide area network, there we use the public IP addresses. How they work, that is not for our level. We leave that to those who are doing networking, but at least we should have that knowledge that outside we are using public IP addresses and inside we are using private IP addresses. A public IP address is very easy to hack. It's very easy to hack into your system if someone has got your public IP address. Now, the moment you connect on the internet, I want you to go to Google. If you go back to your workplace or your laptop and you connect on the internet, you go to Google and type there, who am I? Or what is my IP address? They are going to tell you, even they tell you the type of network you have connected to. If you are not aware, they will tell you which server you are connected to, which network you are connected to. Okay? And these people who hack into your systems, what they do, they get that public IP address. The moment they get it, it is easy for them to penetrate into your system using that IP address. It's like when a thief knows your address, it is very easy for a thief to come and steal you. But if he doesn't know your address, it's not very easy. So that's why we shall see, when we are talking about security of our networks, we shall see that we have to protect these IP addresses by using things like firewalls, such that if a thief has known my address, when he comes to my home, he's going to find a gate. Yes, he knows my address, but when he comes to my home, he's going to find a gate. But if he doesn't find a gate, he's just going to enter and take whatever he wants. But if he finds a gate and the gate is locked, there's security, there are dogs, there's a security guard, it's not going to be easy for him to steal. Okay, we shall see that when we come to security. So there we are saying the internet is the largest one. Characteristics: covers large geographical area, uses public communication systems, higher setup and operation costs. Of course, it's not easy to set up an internet connection, it requires some money. Advantages: enable global communication, supports remote operations, facilitates central management. Then disadvantages: slow speeds than LANs because data is moving over longer distances, high maintenance costs. It requires good technicians now, not junior technicians. Then increased security risks. As I have told you, if someone has known your address publicly, a person is able to easily penetrate into your system. Any hawker from anywhere, even someone in America, can penetrate into your system when you're in Uganda here, as long as he has known your public IP address. So there's a lot of risk, security risks with the hawkers and so on. Okay, want to compare the two? The LAN and the WAN. So coverage, the LAN covers a small area, the LAN covers a large area. Then speed, LAN has high speed, whereas WAN is moderate. The cost is low on LAN and it is high on internet setup. Ownership, LAN is private and WAN is publicly shared. And I have said LAN uses private IP addresses and WAN uses public IP addresses. Because it uses public IP addresses, we are saying it is the public can easily access it. And so the hackers can easily get into our system compared to the LAN. An example, we have office and we have internet. Okay, I have there something, a scenario, application. So a company with branches in Kampala, Nairobi, and Kigali. So it may use LAN within each office. Like for example, Centenary Bank, Masaka may use a LAN within there. Centenary Bank Mbalala may use a LAN within there. Centenary Bank Gulu may use a LAN within there. Okay, but when they want to connect all these branches, then they have now to go to the WAN, which is the internet connection. When they want to connect all these branches together. So there they have to use what we call the WAN. And this will allow real-time financial reporting, shared databases, centralized management. Any questions so far?
Yeah, thank you very much. Sometimes we do experience very slow network. You try to open up something, it takes a lot of time. What is always the cause of that?
Yeah, usually the cause of that is bandwidth. So when you are purchasing internet, normally the internet service provider is going to ask you some questions. One of the questions is going to ask you how many people are going to use this internet. And that question helps this internet service provider to determine which bandwidth you get. Now, given that normally the times what we get is what we call a shared service, that means that one line may be shared with other people. Say, for example, we can have a line from Kumba University, same time it is used by Makerere, same time is used by Chambo, and that line is used by all universities. But when you go, for example, the banks, because they need faster internet, because basically their work is all about internet. For them, they use what is called a dedicated line. And a dedicated line means it's not shared by anybody. It is given to you only. Like Centenary Bank, if it buys a dedicated line, that means they are the only bank on that line and they are not sharing it with anyone and their speeds can be okay. So usually the slowness comes at the time when you are purchasing this internet. Because if it is shared, now you'll see that some peak hours, it will be slow because so many people are using it. That is the shared connection. So peak hours, when everybody is online, it will slow down. But when you go to times like in the night, when not everybody is sleeping, internet will be very fast because you'll be very few people are on it because the bandwidth is shared. Now, when there are many people on it, it means, say for example, if it is 2000 Mbps and is shared. Now, if it is 2000 and 1000 people are connected to it, you can see all 1000 people are connected. But if it is 2000 and you have only 100 people or 50 people connected, it is faster. So that is why sometimes you see the internet is fast, sometimes it is slow. It becomes because of the shared bandwidth. I don't know if I have answered you or if you need any more clarification.
No, you have done it rightly.
Yeah, so when you are purchasing internet, usually be conscious of the bandwidth which is being given to you. Okay, sometimes people are going to cheat you in terms of this one is cheap, this one is expensive. Now, I don't want to give the name of some of these small companies that have come in town because some of you run away from them. But what these people do, they go to Airtel and they purchase a service. After purchasing from Airtel, then they come to you, then they tell you, for us, we can give you a month at 80,000. For them, they go to Airtel and they get at 350 a month. Okay, Airtel, MTN, they get at 350 a month. Then because for you can't afford 350, so they come to your school, they tell you, do you know, for us, we can give you cheaper internet at 80,000 a month. And for you think it is cheap. But remember, that internet, you are going to share it with, I don't know, like 30 schools. Now you can imagine if 30 schools, each one is paying 80,000 a month to that person. You multiply 30 times 80, is that 2.4? And this guy gets off just 350, gives it to Airtel, the rest is his money. And that's why they are telling you this is working only within the Kampala area. Because that's what they can cover. Actually, they are putting on something which is shared. Okay? And that's why many of you are having those slow connections. Because these people are putting on the shared and they are making money from you and you are not aware. They are making business out of you. The best thing is you walk into Airtel, tell them I need internet. Walk into MTN, tell them I need internet. And you get faster internet than going through these small, I don't want to mention their names because some of you may be working there and you say this man has killed our businesses. Okay. Let us go to networking hardware. So the hardware which we use within networking, we have the routers, we have the switches and network cables. So network hardware forms the physical backbone of communication systems. So when you say physical, remember there's also the logical. Logical means that is not tangible, we cannot see, but the physical, like the router, the switch. And I told you those technicians, if they want to get money out of you, they are going to disorganize the switch, they are going to disorganize the router. A cleaner can knock the cable. Usually I like Monday mornings, like tomorrow. It's very rare that I will not get a phone call on Monday. Our network is off. But usually most of these times, these are simple cases. When you go, it's just a cable which has been knocked by a cleaner or a rat over the weekend was running and it knocked the cable. Okay. But definitely if you have to prove that there has been serious work, otherwise, when you just fix the cable, people will not give you enough money. Now, if it was you, would you just put the cable and you walk away? If it is you, would you just put the cable and you walk away? People, if it is you and they call you, and when you reach there, you say, cable, patience. If they call you and you say,
No, I can't. But you're supposed to be ethical for you.
what do you mean by ethical?
You fix the cable, you just tell them the problem.
But then they'll give you 5,000 for border to go.
So you disorganize something, then you reconnect it again. You get much money.
Because when you
Anyway,
just
that's
fix
what.
it, when you just fix the cable and you go away, they will not give you what you need. You have to show them that the work is big so that they give you a million.
Yes, sir.
And these are the things which people do to you at your workplaces. But don't start looking at people with a bad eye. So a router connects different networks and directs data packets between them. Now, this word here is big, packets. I'm not going to go into it. It has a lot of meaning. I'm not going to go into that. But my interest is going to be on this term here. My interest will be on different networks. Now, the job of a router in a network, as you say, a term which says different networks. Remember, we talked of LANs, and we said a LAN operates within a small geographical area, like an office, in schools, and so on. Now, each LAN is speaking its own language. Remember, we talked of a protocol. Now, each LAN is speaking its own language. Now, you look at a country, Uganda. We have the Banyankole. When they go to the Yankole, they speak their Nyankole. We have the Baganda. When they come to Buganda, when you're in Buganda, they speak their language, the Baganda. When you go to Gulu, they speak their language, and so on. Each area speaks its language. So this is what is happening on a network. Each network has this language it is understanding, and it's very comfortable with it. Now, the question is, if a Munyankole now comes to Buganda, and this Munyankole knows only one language, Lunyankole, and when a Muganda goes to Gulu, and he knows only one language, Luganda, there's going to be a communication barrier. So also these computers, a computer which has been operating at Nkumba University, now the moment it wants to connect to the internet to find there other computers speaking other languages, it will not understand the language they are speaking. So a Munyankole, to understand what a Muganda is speaking, he needs an interpreter. Okay? He needs an interpreter. And that interpreter in networking is what we refer to as a router. So the job of the router is to interpret different protocols, call them different languages spoken over the internet. So that is why you see that in order for you to have internet, you need a router. Now, this router is going to help you, your computer understand the rest of the computers worldwide, the language they are talking. And that interpreter is what we call the router. So the job of the router is to interpret the protocols, the languages which are being spoken by other languages all over the world. That is why without a router, you cannot access the internet, because it is only the router which can understand the rest of the languages other computers are talking. Not a switch, it is a router. So functions of a router: connect LAN to internet. That is one function, and that is a major function of a router, is to connect your LAN to the internet, connect you to the internet. There's no way you can connect to the internet unless you have a router. So it also determines the best path, the best data path. I don't want to go too much into technical issues, but what we call a best data path means the router is going to find a shortcut somewhere so that you don't take a long cut. Okay? I don't want to go too much into things which will confuse you, but provide network security also, firewall. Remember, I told you, the moment you connect on the internet, then people know your address. Like I told you, go to Google, put here where am I? Or my IP address. They will give it to you. Google will give it to you. But now, if someone wants to hack into your system, he's going to use it. But if your router has a firewall, now a firewall is a gatekeeper. Remember, I told you if someone wants to come to your home and he has known your address, a thief can easily come to your home. But when he finds a gate, now that gate is the firewall in networking. That gate is the firewall. So when he finds the gate, he can't just enter. So the router has a firewall within it that prevents hackers, even if they have known your IP address and want to enter into your system. If the firewall is well configured in your router, of course, not everybody can do it, but you get a technical person to configure it. If it's well configured, then nobody can just penetrate. Some of you have seen at your workplaces, they have disabled things like Facebook, pornography, and so on. Normally, schools call us to disable pornographic material. They don't want students can access internet in the lab, but the moment they put in pornographic material, nothing happens. So there we use firewalls. It is a firewall which is going to determine what you access and what. If I block Facebook on the router, any communication towards you want to reach Facebook, it will not go through because it is blocked. If I block the pornographic sites on the router, anytime you try to browse them, they will not go through. That's what we do. We do it from the router. Okay. So business users connecting office networks to internet service providers, that is a router, then managing traffic between branch offices, then managerial. Routers help organizations to optimize data traffic, improve security, as I've told you, and reduce downtime. Then we have switches. Now, a switch helps you to extend an internet connection. A switch will help you to extend a LAN internet connection. Like you get your router, you place it, you get one cable from it and you put in the switch, and it will distribute internet on all the computers you need. The switches have ports. Like if it is a 24 port, it means you can connect 23 computers because one port connects to the router. If it is 8 port, it means you can connect 7 computers, depending on how many you want to connect. 64, you can connect 63. So a switch connects devices within the same network. A switch is not like the router. A switch cannot interpret. A switch cannot interpret, no. But a router can interpret. That's why we are saying a switch is connecting devices within the same network. It cannot interpret the internet. So functions of a switch connect computers in the LAN, not in the WAN. When it goes to the WAN, we use a router. But in the LAN, we use a switch. Then send data to specific devices, that is computers, laptops, cameras, and so on. Then improve network efficiency. Then benefits, it reduces network congestion, improves the speed, enhances performance. We have the network interface cards. That one is what I told you already. That is the port which you connect to. And we have the wireless and the wire. Okay, that one we can skip. I've already told a lot about it. We have additional network connections. We have the modem, but the modem today is no longer in use. Modem also brings internet to your router, but today the modem is inbuilt into the router today. They no longer separate them, but old technology used to be, we have a modem and we have a router. But today, the modem and the router are within the same. Then we have access point, which provides wireless, which is wireless fidelity, wireless internet Wi-Fi. We also have firewall, which protects the network, which I have told you. So relevance to managers. So managers should understand hardware requirements. Why? Because the technician is going to come to you talk in terms like a switch, talk in something like a router, firewall, those things. If you don't know those terms, it is easy to cheat you. And for that, it is easy for you to make a budget. Okay? Some of you make organizational budgets. But when you're making a budget of such things, when at least you have some knowledge, it is better. Then it helps you to ensure that you have connectivity. You have a reliable network. Okay, like the lady asked about sometimes internet is slow and so on. Now at least she has an idea why. Okay. So the role of microcomputers, internet and intranet connections. Not get tired. We are about to finish. I told you I want to finish this chapter today because we are running out of time. So the role of microcomputers, they play a central role in modern communication systems. This one, I'm sure you can all agree with me. So internet connection, the internet is a global network connecting millions of computers that on your website and enable sending mails, browse website, participate in video meetings like we are on video meeting now, access cloud services. I don't if time allows, I will show you. I will connect to mine at my workplace and you see how it works. Then business applications. Of course, we have email communication, e-commerce, online buying and selling, these things of Jumia. You know those things. Today you can buy cars online, you can buy land online, you can buy plots online, you can buy fridges online. Online marketing also, which is very important. Social media campaigns, digital advertising and so on. Video conferencing. All of this can be done over the internet. Zoom meetings, Microsoft Team collaboration, and so on and so forth. But we have also what we call intranet. Now, you should get a difference between internet and intranet. Internet and intranet, these are two different terms. So an intranet is a private internal network used within an organization. Intranet is private, is internal, is within an organization. It doesn't go outside. An example I can give you are those at the telecom, intercom, which you use at your workplaces. You have those phones, which you can use to call the other office, But that phone doesn't call outside, intracom. So even here we have intranet. It's a sort of an internet connection, but it operates within just an organization. So it is accessible only to authorized staff. This one operates mainly in banks. Secure internal communication, centralized information sharing. So it uses internal messaging. You have HR portals, document sharing, workflow management. All these are just within. It doesn't go outside to the internet. And benefits, it is faster, improves coordination, it reduces on paperwork, and it has enhanced productivity. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we do have those kind of phones in our offices, but sometimes we call outside. They give us permission. I don't know how they do it, how the technical people do it.
Yeah.
But some of those telephones go outside. You can call out.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, that's when they use what we call a switch box. So as you have stated it clear, they give us permission. Now on the switch box, you can allow that phone to go out. And that's where the permission now, what the permission you are talking about. Do you get it? So on the switch, they can allow it to go out. But otherwise, it is the play is on the switch there. If they allow you to call out, it can. And that's now what we call a hybrid intercom. Today we have what we call a hybrid intercom. Remember, in old times, we used to have two headsets on your desk. You have one which is inside, which calls only inside, and one which calls outside. But now with the technology, made what we call a hybrid, and this is controlled on the switch box, which you can have only one to be used for intracom, but at the same time, it can be on the switch, it can be allowed to go out, reducing the other costs, which we said instead of having two headsets, now you have one. Have you got explanation?
It is clear now.
Any other question? So, role of microcomputers in modern organizations, those ones you can read about. Communication, data processing, those ones are easy things which you can read. Decision support, we have a full chapter ahead on decision support systems. We shall see them. Now, I just want to look at the security considerations. Security considerations, we shall have a chapter on security, but just let's talk about briefly it in networking. Now, I am going to give you an example. When you are on the village, remember those villages back home, one house is 2 miles away. From this house to get another house, you need to drive a mile. So those villages don't have so many thieves. But when these people, the land property, these people who are making plots, property masters, who are subdividing our lands into plots, when they came and started to subdivide, our homes became estates, and now have become slums, our villages. And now the more people who come to the village, okay, the more people come to your village, the more the wrongdoers are also going to come. The more the thieves are also going to come. Now, when your computer is alone in your office, when you are alone with your computer, you are safe, you are okay. But the moment you put in a network cable, it means this computer is now going to be seen by everybody on the internet. If it's a LAN, everybody in your organization can access it. Normally, I sit in my office. Even now, I can be here where I am, and at my workplace, someone complains he has a problem with the computer. Just because for me, I know their addresses. I will just log into that person's computer. Even if I'm in America, I will just log into his computer, and I hope some of you have seen these things at your workplaces. I can just log into it, and I do things, and he sees the mouse moving. I don't need to come to your office. Okay. Now the question here is, how secure are we? If someone can access the moment you put a network cable, someone can access your computer. Okay. So we are saying network introduces risks such as unauthorized access. The moment you put a cable, it means it is no longer only you who can access that computer. Okay. So it means there's a lot of unauthorized access, wrong people who are going to come and access your work. Data breaches. So many people are going to come and steal your data. Okay. And malware attacks. So what do we do? Organizations must implement firewalls. And the firewall, I've told you, is a security feature which we put into our router such that not everybody can access our system. Only the authorized people can access the systems. Then we should do also encryption. Encryption, today now you can say like the banks are doing it. If they're sending you a statement, you don't just open it like that. There are some security features, there are some codes which you have to first put before it opens. So encryptions, it means you just hide away the normal data such that it can only be got by or understood by. Then antivirus systems. Some of you disable updates on your computers. But these updates are good, leave them. Yes, they are taking data, but they are helping you for security purposes. If your antivirus is not up to date, it means the new virus they created yesterday, by the time they manufactured your antivirus, some of you still have antivirus or you find someone with a computer and the antivirus of it on it was made in 2020 and is very happy with it. My computer is protected. But 5 years back, how many viruses have come? The one which was made in 2020 cannot say virus which was created in 2025. Okay, so it means keep updating your antivirus so that it can see the new viruses. Then user authentication. The moment you connect on the internet, people, the moment you connect on a network, learn how to use a practice of passwords. And these passwords, don't just give it to anybody. Protect your password. In case you are at home and someone calls you and says, I want to use your computer, can you help me with your password? The moment you give that password, the very first thing you do when you access your computer is to change the password. Many people are in Ruzira because of just giving away passwords like that. Even your manager, be jealous of your password, even if it's a manager who has requested for it. Yes, out of courtesy, you may give it to him, but immediately, the moment you access your computer, change your password. Because this person, after a month, is going to misuse your computer when you don't know. It may be this manager is against you. He'll misuse your computer and they say, you see, that is so did it. Of course, for us, we don't know his password. Zanu knows the password. Therefore, is the one. By the time you say, I am not the one, you'll be in Ruzira. And you have spent there a month when they are still collecting gathering information. Okay? So protect your computers the moment they connect on the network. Password protect them such that only authorized users can access them. We shall talk more when we come to security in the topic for security. Then strategic importance for managers, MBS graduates must understand networking because, so we are coming to a conclusion of this. So MBS students must understand networking because it supports digital information. That is one. Global operations. Two. Remote work environments. Business continuity planning. It all comes through networking. And in the summary, as we conclude this, so for chapter 6, we have looked at the fundamentals of microcomputer networking, difference between LANs and WANs. I'm sure by now everybody knows the difference between the two, whereby we have said LANs are for small geographical, and then WANs, it is global, and it also forms the internet. Then you have key networking hardware such as routers, switches, and NICs. The role of microcomputers in internet and intranet connection. So network systems are strategic assets in modern organizations, enabling communication, collaboration, and efficiency, information management. Many organizations today, many of them, they are relying on networks. Many of them, if not all, they are relying on networks. Banks, URA, go to lands, go everywhere it is network. Okay, any question before I give you my discussion questions? Any questions you want to ask me? So I'll give you these notes I have used in a group for you to help you to revise and add on more. I also gave you some revision questions. Someone will put something in the chat room. Let me see. Someone is saying no. For him, he has no question. Okay. So I am going to give you these notes in the group for you to use them for revision. Of course, they are summarized notes, but you can expound on them using the internet. You can go to Google and put in a topic. YouTube also is there. I have also recorded this lecture. I'll upload it on my YouTube channel. You just go there and you put in Richard Kauma. You'll get it. It will be there in case you need to revise anything. I gave you some revision questions to help you to prepare for the final exam. And also for now, this chapter, I've also given you some revision questions there, which can help you to revise. I've also given you a case study. There's a case study down there, which can help you to revise. Okay, unless there's anything. Oh, I told you to show you something. Yes, so could you kindly share with us these notes in the group? Yes, I'm going to share them after. I had said to share with you, to show you an example of a storage device which is connected to my office, is within my office and my workplace. Let me just show you briefly, just 2-3 minutes. Okay, so it is called my cloud home. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, so
Yes.
now here where I am going to connect to my office at my workplace, and I'm going to connect to a storage device. Okay, now as you can see now, I'm within that storage device and I'm not there. Doesn't matter wherever I am, okay? I can connect and I can do anything. Now, even if you steal my laptop, I will not suffer because all my content is saved there. Yes, I will cry for the laptop, but as you can see, these folders here, okay? These folders there. I can create any folder and I can put in any work. And I can share with anybody I like. Not everybody can access these folders. Not everybody. The only people who might give permission are the only people who can share. So I can click there and I look for a work colleague I can share with. And then if I've not given you permission, it means you can't share. You can't share with it. Okay? So for those of you who have your workplaces, you can use this mechanism. I know some of your data gets lost and so on. You can use this mechanism. In case you don't know how it works, then that's where for us we make money from. You can come and you can invite me and I install it for you there. And then this issue of they have stolen my laptop, my data is gone and so on. I took a flight to America. I forgot some files in the office. You can always get them. Okay, I think we can end there for today, unless there's any burning question. But if there is no, we can call it a day.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, I hope you have learned a lot.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it has
And-
been very educative.
And please implement those things in your workplaces. But for me, feel free always to call me and ask me. In case you are stuck, I have no problem. I always give assistance to my students.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, this is recorded and I'm going to upload it on my YouTube channel. Also, the notes I'm going to post them in the group after here.